I'm using the DLD. I'm working backwards if anyone wants to come and look over. It's got nearly 3 minutes of sample time aside, and it does, you can't save anything, but it always stores the last kind of 2 minutes 50. So there may be anything in there really. I was playing with it the other day and some drums came from nowhere. And it was just that I thought, right, if I go back a few sessions, that was probably the last time I used it. So we'll see what's going on and I'll rebuild as we go. It's Rings by Mutable Instruments as my sound source. Ultra random, spitting voltages out, and then the dual looping delay. So let's pull it and see if I can get anywhere similar. Probably not, because it's mainly random voltages, but give me a second to pull it. Someone made the point that there's probably as much money in stackables as there is modules. It's probably in that far off. You could probably buy rings for these cables. Literally pull everything. So my output is the DLD, and I'm just going to patch over both outputs in rings. This is in stereo, it should pan around quite nice in this room. Everything starts with a clock. Just make this fully dry. Clock's also going into the DLD. Try and keep the delays in time. And then it's just a case of patching over random voltages to rings, build up some tonal changes, and then I'll split those across in this kind of dense stackable web into the DLD and see what happens. So at this point I'll add some delay. So at this point the delay is entirely static, everything is just rings and just static time per side. Just start adding some voltages to the DLD. I've kind of ran out of voltages at this point, so I'm just splitting what's in rings back over to the DLD. that's kind of it. I've got one cable left.
Don't do it.
All I'm... So this works in terms of the clock is still absolutely static. Nearly everything's tied to that clock. We can patch one of the fluctuating voltages back into the clock FM to get these gestural ramps and pulls and pushes. Go on. I tend to prefer this more steady pulse, but last cable, why not? If I can get in. So I'll leave it that, see what happens. Desperately needs an attenuator as soon as that voice goes super high, and now it's nearly gone. Yeah. So it really needs an attenuator between, but obviously that's a fourth module, so. And the thing is, once these bursts are in the DLD, you've got to get 3 minutes of something else into it before they're going to go. So I'll let it play and I'll just try and control the clock a little better. There it is again, see if we can get rid of it. No, there it is again. It's amazing for what I tend to call sample fodder when I'm looking for things to chop, just collecting sounds. Musically, I'd probably pull that clock FM out because I've got this ramp of sound over there that I'm not particularly keen on, but see if I can... It's that side. So I guess the next steps, and this really is the kind of beauty of this 3-module challenge idea for me, is it makes me feel like I know exactly what I need next. I mean, I've got the luxury of working with this stuff and videos, so I've no sort of issue with modules, but if this was my only system, I know what the restrictions are. I'd probably want somewhere to now control pitch, although this tone's been ramping around and harmonics have been shifting, the tuning's not moved. And then probably a reverb and so on and so on, but I think it informs what you're doing and gives you an idea about where to go. That's quite nice. Get the clock speed up and then we'll leave it there for this one. So yeah, that's it. Rings, ultra random analog, DLD. I was hoping to have an E3 5.2 from Paul Schreiber, Synthesis Tech, but stuck in customs. And I did, not entirely shit my pants, but not far off thinking, what am I going to do with this? And I got into that, probably as everyone approaching this stuff feels, there's no amplitude on that. Rings is lovely because it's nearly a full voice. So I was thinking, well, if I've got a VCA, then I'm going to have to lose the effect. But then the DLD is really cool. But then it'll be drones if I don't put the VCA in. I think that approach and that way of thinking is not something to shy away from. We can add a 4th module in, of course, but yeah.
Well, it does. It makes you push it as far as you can actually take it. Even that part where you have one cable left, it's almost like knowing how many cables to use as well, not to take it just because you've got that cable there.
Yeah.
It could just all fall down, couldn't it? So it's making those choices really.
Yeah. Cool. Let's plug yours in.